to Full Service Radio.
Full Service Radio.
Full Service.
Full Service. Full Service.
Full Service Radio.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Melissa, and you're tuning in to the Edible Activist Podcast. I am the creator of Food Talks DC, a platform that intentionally creates space for people of color to share food narratives that stem from the land. I travel all over the DC area and beyond to document personal food journeys, anecdotes, and personal perspectives from everyday people, residents, growers, and activists on topics related to health, tradition, environment, sustainability, food justice, and culture. That's a lot. This podcast will highlight Black and brown edible activists in the food and farming space. And not that type of edible you guys are probably thinking about. It's food people, all about food activism. I choose to define an edible activist as anyone who is feeding their community, environment, and family through healthy food. Every week, I will bring in a special guest to hear their personal food journey firsthand and learn how they are channeling edible activism in the DC area. We don't promote people, we tell stories and empower communities. So today on the show, I am really excited to have Trina Cobbler, who is the founder and creator of People's Medicine based out of Beltsville, Maryland. And I want to welcome her to the show. Welcome, Trina.
Thank you, Mel. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. And I wish you all could see Trina in this dazzling outfit. She is queening over here. She has the beads, this beautiful cream dress. I love it, and I want it. So you got to tell me where you got it from. So anyway, let me tell you why this is really a special treat and experience for me to sit down and chat with Trina. We actually went to high school together.
Yes, we did.
And I saw Trina a couple weeks ago doing her growing thing, and I sadly had it been since high school? I'm hoping not, but I graduated in 2000. That's actually pretty sad if that's been the case, but we went to high school together.
Yeah, we did. I think we had seen each other in passing.
Okay, probably.
Before then.
And I think we tried to orchestrate a meeting at one point,
yes.
And it just didn't work out, because we both have a lot going on. But this is just amazing because we're both in the same space.
Yes. Divine timing is beautiful.
Absolutely. We were following each other on social media, and I was like, I went to high school with her. Like, she's doing her thing.
Yes.
So anyway, we're going to learn about Trina, guys. She is a grower. She's a farmer. She's a doula. She's a queen. She's a yoga enthusiast. I can go on. Oh. She's a tea maker. Indeed. She blessed us with some really delectable tea a few weeks ago.
Yes, minty.
It was minty. So I'm excited for us to chat and for everyone to get to know Trina. And so, like I said, we tell stories. So I'm going to allow Trina to tell hers. So yeah.
Indeed. Thank you for the space.
Absolutely.
So my food story started a long time ago, at a point in my life where I really wasn't paying attention. I was a young girl watching my parents grow flowers and mint and other herbs in the backyard, and my uncle would come over with his vegetables and his herbs that he was growing. He was a landscaper in the area, so I was always surrounded around fresh foods, and I was just living. I was a child running around barefoot, having fun in the backyard, getting on my sister's nerves.
Oh, I get on my sister's nerves.
Okay.
And she gets on mine too. How about that? I understand family dynamics.
Yeah. So life was good back then, and I was growing up and went through school, just as a normal kid. Did everything normal children did in public school, ate cafeteria food, ate vending machine food. Do you remember the chicken sandwiches?
I do. We used to sit there. Well, I didn't, but I used to watch my classmates mix the ketchup
and the mayonnaise.
And I thought it was the most disgusting thing ever, but I was eating the chicken sandwiches. Ugh.
Telling you. So we did it. I did it. And then, I went to college, lived the college life, turned up as soon as class got out, It was a great time, but you get older, you get wiser, and then you start to slow down and listen. And there was a point in my life where I had to do just that. On a monthly basis, I was struggling. Strong periods, pain, a lot of bleeding, and a lot of sadness. And there would be days where I would skip class because I was in so much pain I couldn't get out the bed. And my friends would be like, "Where have you been?" And I'm naturally a hermit. I'm a Scorpio. We like to lay low and kind of chill, but it got really, really low. And so I kind of checked in with myself and said, what's going on here? And so that's when I really connected with food. That moment was a wake-up call for me where I had to look at myself and say, really, what's going on here? Like, what can we change? What should we pay attention to? And so, I took a look at the relationships, things that I was doing, how I was nourishing myself or how I wasn't nourishing myself. And the change started to occur. Changed my diet, started paying attention to the things that I was consuming, whether it be relationships, food, music, environment. What was that like for me? Was it helping me or was it hurting me? And how could that be different? Because obviously I wasn't happy and I wasn't healthy, based on my physical state. I was struggling every month, And so I was actually working for a company that was allowing me to travel all around the States, and I met a lady from Atlanta who was on a vegan food journey. And at that point in my life, I was a vegetarian. So I was eating mostly vegetables. I'll be honest, it was a lot of steamed frozen vegetables, potatoes, a lot. And so when I found someone else who was on a similar path as me, I kind of latched on to her. And she started telling me about, eliminating other triggers in my diet, like dairy or eggs. And so I was like, wow, okay, it's interesting. I don't know if I'm ready yet, but I'm open to it, know?
And that was the first step, being
right,
open.
Right.
One of the first steps.
Absolutely. And so we, developed a really strong friendship. And she coached me through a lot of the things that I was dealing with, mainly food. But we're still friends to this day. She now lives in New York, but she taught me a lot about the vegan food journey. And that day, at the end of our initial conversation, I actually gave up dairy. And I started reading more books about people who were on a similar path, learning about the benefits of just focusing on a plant-based diet and how it could help heal you. And of course, it led to major strides in my diet and my physical well-being. I no longer had the heavy periods. Wow. I didn't deal with the reproductive issues physically and emotionally. I was feeling better. Around the same time, I picked up yoga.
So you felt like this weight had been lifted.
Absolutely.
And the energy just like...
Absolutely. I felt lighter.
Right.
Physically lighter, energetically lighter. And I think people noticed it too. Some embraced it. Others were like, what is going on with you?
Of course.
Like,
what foreign country are you from?
Exactly.
What are you eating?
Exactly.
You're what?
And at the time, I had just come out of undergrad, and I was in hotel and restaurant management. So a lot of our training was heavy in back of the house. So I was learning about food preparation. I was preparing meals from all over the country for delegates in Maryland and other prestigious people in the area. And so we were drenched in, food culture. So at that time, I noticed I was eating everything, and it really didn't serve me to just consume everything.
Absolutely.
So, when I really changed my diet and started to refine things, people were like, no way, not you. Like, not you.
'Cause that's not who they knew.
Right. Exactly.
But here's the new Trina.
Yeah.
Same Trina, but just,
improved
with
Yeah.
some changes.
Absolutely.
Now, you've shared your story with me before.
Yes.
And you spoke about how your mom attributed a lot to your food path.
Absolutely.
And growing up in a blended family, parents are from Trinidad. I know your dad is from Trinidad. Mom is from Trinidad as well.
My mother's from Jamaica.
Okay, mother's from Jamaica, which I've had the pleasure of meeting your dad,
Yes.
who is a wonderful soul.
Yes.
He would have been perfect to have on the show.
I know. We'll have to bring him back.
We do. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Big shout out to my mom. God rest her soul. She passed away last year. But she was instrumental in everything that I do, really, honestly and truly. My mom, being from Jamaica, an amazing chef and cook. She did that professionally. And did that for the family. Held down 4 girls and a husband.
You have the curry recipe on lock?
I do.
Oh my gosh.
I do.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I do.
We're salivating over here.
Inherited it from both sides.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So my mom, she was really diligent in providing us cooked meals, whether it be, just scraping things together and making something happen, or 5-course meals. Like she did it from each side of the spectrum, and she did it with love and intention. I mean, literally, I remember growing up as a child and having my siblings come over and being like, "Did Mom cook?" Like,
where's she at?
Yeah,
where's the food?
Yeah, nose
like
in
that.
the air, like.
Oh,
smelling,
my
sniffing the house out for it, because
what's so you were really painting this scene for me. And I'm like in this house. I am like one of those kids. Like, where's the food?
Yep.
I grew up in a melting pot.
Yes.
So I had, I had Indian friends. I had Jamaican friends. I had friends from El Salvador. So, and we grew up in an apartment building. So every floor was lit up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every floor. And we had a friend who was Jamaican, and the curry. Oh my gosh! Like, that's what we came down. We want to be fed. Thank you for painting that. That is amazing. Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. And I think I also remember, sorry to cut you off, but when you cook, you say you bring your mom into, like, you set the space and you set the tone and the environment, and you invite her into your space.
Yes.
And
every
I just
time.
thought that was powerful.
Every time. My parents fed us with love. I grew up in a blended family, so naturally, there's always going to be a difference of opinion, but honestly, both of them fed us with love. Their recipes were different. My mom was more of a silent type. She would pay attention to your concerns, your struggles, and find a way to nourish you. My father, he was direct, came at you full force with the solution right out the gate. But together, it was a nice blended recipe for success. All of us very different, but all strong women. We've all inherited the cooking gene.
That's a great gene to have.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're getting curry next time too, huh? Wink,
Yes.
wink. Who wants curry? All right. Trina's going to make everybody in the hotel. No, not everybody in the hotel, but that's awesome.
Yes.
Now, do you ever go back to Trinidad?
The last time I was in Trinidad was about 4 years ago.
Okay.
But I've been back several times prior to that. And Jamaica a little bit longer, but I've been back a few times as a child as well.
Wow.
So once things slow down, I'm going out there for a few months to chill, reconnect with family, taking the fresh air, get some sun.
Yes.
Live.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Great. Okay, we're going to take a quick break because we're going to dive into the people's medicine.
All right.
Okay, I have Trina Cobbler here, and we've been rapping, and we're going to dig into her work as a doula, work as a grower, a farmer. We'll be right back. You're listening to Perfect Day, produced by Artist Authentic. For more of Authentic's work, visit allornothingstudios.com. This is Melissa Jones, and we are here with the Edible Activist Podcast, chatting with Trina Cobbler of People's Medicine, based out of Beltsville, Maryland. Doula, my Trinidad girl, my grower, my farmer, my queen. She is queening over here. I absolutely love it. She took us back to growing up and what food was like in the household, and honoring her mom, and just the smells of curry and just all this everything. Wonderful everything.
Saltfish.
Oh, saltfish. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I really haven't eaten, so
well, I see you over there with your juice.
Yes, you know what? That's my boost. That's my
too.
boost. Absolutely. And she has this. Is this watermelon juice?
It is.
It is. She has this large jug. What is it? About a.
It's a liter and a half.
It's a liter and a half. Okay, of watermelon juice.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yep, live foods.
Live foods for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. People's medicine. Tell us about people's medicine. It actually says everything it needs to say. And
Good.
But let the world know people's
All right.
medicine.
So, people's medicine is my baby. It started at a time when I needed healing. I started making teas for myself and giving them to people, and they were like, "This is good, and I feel better. What's in it?" I'm like, "All right, I'll tell you about the herbs." And then I started making more teas and giving out more teas and making more teas and giving out more teas, and then educating people on the plants that I use and where they came from and how I came to know them. And so it slowly became the people's medicine. It is a collaboration of nutrition and gardening and reproductive health through birth work. It is for everyone, mainly women and children, because we are pretty much the anchors of the family. But it is really for everyone. It's the people's medicine. It's for the whole family.
Wow. Now, you made a profound statement, which I thought was simple, but I was like, she's not playing no games. You said, if I don't eat it, I don't grow it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Straight like that.
Straight like that.
And is it because of, because I know there can be an abundance of what anyone can grow, and oftentimes some stuff can go bad, or there's waste, and you can use it for compost. Sure. and whatever, but is there a specific reason for, or you just, if you can't use it, then you don't is it part of your strategy for people's medicine?
Absolutely. There's a lot of food waste all over the city.
Yep.
Just look at the dumpsters on the corner. It's just rancid food waste, half-eaten produce thrown away. Things that have an expired label but appear to be fresh, thrown away. I've noticed recently that people grow foods just for the sake of growing it. If you go to the grocery store, there's a lot of agronomical crops in there, food that's grown for money rather than food that's grown for health. And I'm not a person of waste. Growing up in my household with several other siblings, you couldn't waste anything.
No, can't afford to waste.
Yeah. And if my mom was cooking something that I didn't want to eat, honey, I didn't eat, So I learned that really early, So you have to be selective about what you have around you, what you choose to purchase, what you use your money on, and no matter if you've got $1 million in the bank or $5, that is still important. So you've got to know how to use that properly. So I've just made a conscious effort with people's medicine in my own life to grow the food that I want to eat, grow the food that my friends and neighbors want to eat, purchase food from growers that I know are growing in a safe environment, ethically, with decent seeds, because that's important too. You don't want to eat anything that's foreign, or...
Can you talk a little bit more about that, especially the seeds? Because when we were at your place where you were growing, and she gave us this dill and mint, and it was just
so fragrant.
They were treats.
Yeah,
we just had to
you
walk
did
away.
Go home with a goodie bag.
But me and Lita both went home with a goodie bag.
You had some okra, you had some dill.
Oh my gosh.
mint.
And her patio where she has like her planters. It just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But I remember sharing with you just very briefly about some of the health challenges that my mother faced some months ago. And you spoke about like the seed and like the strain and how sometimes like our bodies may not even be used to that,
Right.
which I wouldn't even think about.
No, yeah. I mean, like growing up and okay, so when I was younger, I probably traveled out of the country a lot more than I did when I was older. So I was in Trinidad and I was in Jamaica and I was driving through the country, which is jungle, seeing plants grow wild. And the plants I saw grow out there are not what you see in the grocery store today. Some things that they grow now, I have no idea what they are. I've never seen them before, and they're new to the planet. So when you're thinking about feeding your body and feeding your spirit, it only makes sense to consume foods that are as old ancestrally as you are in your DNA, and understanding that what you give your body is fuel. Really, it is fuel that gives yourself information. This food heals us. But if you're eating stuff that isn't compatible to that ancestry and to that genealogy that you carry, it's going to hurt you.
That is so deep. So how can I start eating the right seeds that are compatible?
I mean, you got to do some searching.
I got to do some searching.
You got to do some searching.
Which is a whole, that's something else that shout out to Michael Twitty of The Cooking Genie, who has inspired me to just want to research my entire lineage.
Nice.
Nice. I don't know that I'm prepared for all the findings and the deep-rooted stuff, but I do realize how important that is to this whole path of food,
Yeah.
So I just thought that was just so profound when you said that, because I don't know that, and the person next to me does not know that, and it's just like wild.
I mean, there's people out here writing some really good books on the topic too. There's a brother named Dr. Ali Muhammad. He's got a book called Indigenous Nutrition.
Oh wow!
Where he goes into the science behind that, and many of us Black and brown folks are indigenous to this landmass, and a lot of the foods that they disguise as superfoods or tell us, or tropical only plants, grew in our backyard, and they were medicine to our people. They've just been cut down for the sake of putting up a condo or, disguised somehow or another. And we've been disconnected from it. So, the information is definitely out there, but you got to be willing to figure it out, and that's the hard part, stepping up to that point in your life where you're like, okay, things are not where I want them to be. How can I adjust? And that was hard for me too, building up that confidence to be strong enough to say, all right, things are not where I want them to be.
Wow.
How can I adjust?
Wow.
What can I do to adjust? Yeah.
But you also too need to be in a space to come to that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because as my mother would tell me, you can, what is it? You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink, whatever. Yeah. And what hit me when my journey started was I felt duped. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
The whole food system.
Yeah.
Just so duped. I felt completely duped. But I came to that, I was in that space and I said, no, I'm ready to learn. I want to make some adjustments.
Yeah.
But I was just ready. And some people some are just stubborn and don't. They just want to continue just doing what they do.
Absolutely. But that's what it takes. It takes for you to either fall on your face, get hit by a car.
Exactly.
Be diagnosed with something crazy for you to be like, okay, I got to slow down and get it together. Really? And that is the hard work. That's where the work begins. Recognizing that.
Yeah, we just don't step on like, oh, I just want to start drinking these smoothies and it doesn't. Those aren't a lot of the stories.
Well, for some people that is their story.
For some,
because
for
it's
some,
cool now. you know, to
That's
drink
awful.
the smoothies. It's cool to be in the food movement, you know, and if that's where you fit, all right. But I encourage people to go just a little bit deeper, because once you get beneath that cover of just being cool, you realize that there's a lot bubbling, you know. And then until you address it, you're going to keep dealing with the same issues over and over again. I did.
And it's spiritual,
Yeah.
it's physical,
Absolutely.
it's mental, it's all of that.
Absolutely. And it all happens at the same time, believe it or not.
Same time.
Because we're layered. You can't just focus on one aspect of your life and think everything else is going to be fine. Because sooner or later, that everything else is going to trail behind that one aspect, and you're going to be like, wait a minute, thought I had this under control. It's off. Things are starting to seesaw. How do I get back? So you got to really take a look at everything. Take a little bit at a time, but look at everything and figure out how it fits together.
Trina is preaching over here, guys.
No, I'm just sharing my story.
No, seriously, it all makes sense, you know. So what's growing in your yard now? I know we were just there a couple weeks ago, but you know, let our listeners know, what is Trina growing right now?
All right, so growing herbs, of course. I have a lot of hibiscus. They're flowering now, so we should have a lot of roselle flowerets for some Jamaican sorrel. I've got a lot of mint. Still have a little bit of dill percolating. It's going to seed soon. So I'm looking forward to that. I like to seed save. I
Okay.
think that's very important
Yes.
to maintaining the integrity of your plants. I've got some squash growing, some pumpkin. What else do I got growing?
Ooh, pumpkin.
Yeah, some
What do you do with the
tomatoes.
what do you use your pumpkin for? Do you like
I eat it.
just like eat it, like pumpkin soup, like what?
Yeah, I will blend it up and make a raw soup. Add some spices to it. I'll cook it. Add a curry blend. Yep.
Okay, and you're gonna start your recipe book when?
Very soon.
We have the teas on lock, right?
Yes.
Speaking of which, didn't you just get your teas into? Are you in the process of getting your teas? Talk about your teas.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk about your teas.
Yes, ma'am. My teas will be in a local store called Soup Up in October. Thank you so much.
I can't wait.
So everyone needs to come out and get a cup.
In October, Soup Up.
Yes.
What's the name of the? It's just going to be. What's your branding on? So we know.
So People's Medicine Tea. It'll be in the drink
People's
section.
Medicine Tea.
Yep.
Look out for it.
Yes.
So what type of teas can we expect? Is it just based off what you're growing at that time,
Yep.
or what
it's
kind
going to
of?
be a combination of both.
Okay.
Mainly what I'm growing will be highlighted. So we'll have the Jamaican sorrel. We'll have some spiced chai tea. We'll also have a green tea and lavender. The lavender is actually homegrown by another farmer that I work with. And then we'll have maybe some tamarind juice, some other things that are really tasty, fresh, and nutritious.
Yep, gotta have nutritious.
Yes.
Wow, that's exciting. Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you. I'm excited too. I'm really excited about that.
Yay. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Conversations are going strong.
Yes.
I'm loving this all.
Right.
Here with Trina Cobbler. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Edible Activist Radio. I'm Melissa Jones, and I'm chatting here with Trina Cobbler of People's Medicine, based out of Beltsville, Maryland. And this has been great. I'm I'm always humbled to just come into others' presence in this food space. It's just really humbling. You know, I learn a lot. I gain a lot of knowledge, and I'm always being fed. You know, not always like physically through the mouth, but I'm always being fed, you know, spiritually and mentally. So forever learning. So I'm just grateful for the work that you are doing, which you're continuing to do. And all great things are going to continue to happen.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such a blessing to be here, really, to reconnect with you in this way.
Absolutely.
This platform that you've established is amazing and so needed.
Yes.
There isn't a lot of space for creatives that express in this way. And it's amazing that you've now opened up that pathway for us. So thank you so much.
I'm trying. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I tell people.
It looks gorgeous. It looks gorgeous.
I just make this stuff up, people. I'm joking.
I can't tell. I love it.
Not really. There's a little bit of strategy to it, but I'm learning. This is all new to me, but this is really great. I'm grateful for the opportunity. So I want to talk a little bit more about food, just a little bit, and then we're going to kind of conclude soon with a rapid fire so we can learn a little bit more about Trina's likes and, her foods and things like that. But you talked about part of the reason, obviously, we know that you're a great cook and you like to control your flavor profile.
I do.
And she meant what she said. She's like, I like to control my flavor profile.
I do.
Like, speak on that. Like, what? And I think that's because when I create, I don't really think about that. I just know that I want a good, fresh meal. Mm-hmm. But I guess I do want to control my flavor profile, too. Mm-hmm. Just not knowing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like to cook intentionally. Mm-hmm. Of course, sometimes I come home and I don't have a menu planned out. I look in the fridge like everybody else, and it's like, all right, what are we going to make happen here? But when I prepare my meals, I like to take my time and add time. Like I said, my parents fed us with love. I like to feed myself the same way. I like to feed my friends and family the same way. So all of my meals are prepared with time, integrity. If I got to chop up lettuce for a few minutes, I'm going to chop up lettuce for a few minutes.
And you're going to take your time
doing
it.
Yeah, because it's important. You know what I mean? And that energy exchange is what you eat.
You know what? Someone told me that a friend of mine, when it's a time of the month on her cycle, she says she really tries not to do too much preparation just because of that. And I guess especially if she's feeling a certain way, because she doesn't want it, and she can cook her butt off, okay? But she doesn't want to bring that energy. And that was something that I didn't think about, when I was in this whole food space and this whole food journey, because I come to the point, I don't want to cook and be rushed.
Right.
I'd rather just drink water.
Right.
Okay.
Well, sure.
Or eat an apple if I'm feeling a certain way, because it's not going to taste good.
Right.
And my mind is all over the place, and I'm not going to enjoy it.
Yeah. When I was growing up, my mom used to sing every time she cooked.
Wow.
Every single time, no matter how bad her day was, how stressful it was, she came home and sang. And that's why her food tasted so good. Because that energy was going into the food, it was flavoring it, it was giving it that oomph that it needed. And you're right. If you're upset and your energy is not right, or you're sick and not feeling right, find something else to do.
Right.
Find another way.
Go watch
to
TV
get that together.
I don't know, right?
Yeah.
No, but that's a good piece of advice, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What legacy do you want to build?
I'd like my legacy to inspire unlimited creativity. I just feel like people are a little sheltered. We're afraid to kind of show our true selves and to stand upright in what we have to offer. And so to do that, you've got to think outside the box. You can't show up like somebody else. You've got to be you. I had someone tell me the other day, when you get dressed for yourself.
You better say it.
And I took that and I applied it to every aspect of my life. Not just clothes, but just getting dressed for myself, meaning that whatever I do, I've got to be proud of that.
And be unapologetic about it, too.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So yeah.
I have to tell you, so this past week, I was, the other part of my life, I'm a corporate event planner, which I'm trying to leave out of. I've been doing that for the last 10 years. And so I had a client event, and I have to tell you, I just feel so great to be in this space, and I just couldn't wait to escape,
Isn't that
because
beautiful?
You have to polish yourself up, you know, and so I get it, you know, just coming from a corporate space and working in a corporate world, I get it. But that limited creativity, I felt like each morning I couldn't step out and be truly who I am.
Yeah.
And that hurts sometimes.
It makes you feel dull.
It makes me feel so dull. I'm like, I can't even, like, who you're talking to right now really isn't even me.
Right.
For sure.
And can you imagine living like that years after years after years, and then you start to take on that role and you don't recognize yourself anymore?
Wow.
It's scary.
Be us.
Yeah.
And dress for yourself.
Yes.
And just, that's great. That's dynamic. I appreciate that. So where can we find you?
You can find me on IG at People's Medicine.
All right.
You can find me on the web. My website is trinacobbler.com. Yes.
All
and
right.
in Soup Up.
In October.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? So I know we're going to end this soon, guys, but I mentioned before you're a doula as well. And you show some of your work on your Instagram platform. How has that experience been?
It's amazing. It's an amazing sacred experience.
Wow.
Working with women and seeing them transform through the birth process is a privilege. I'm honored to be put in a place where I can, stand alongside these strong women, because birth is an amazing process. It's not just something that happens, like you have to unfold, you have to surrender, and you have to honestly stand within your own self and really commit to it, and it's such an empowering thing that I've been blessed to do and to witness. So I work with women in postpartum, and then I also assist in the actual birth process and in the conception process too, because I have a lot of clients that are looking to get healthy so that they can conceive a strong child, which is so important.
So very important.
So in every step, I'm there coaching and sharing and supporting and empowering women, and they are giving me the same in return, which is a part of the blessing, because I grow every single time I'm with a woman that is experiencing birth. They're sharing that birth experience with me, so I love it.
Wow.
I keep a lot of it to myself.
Yeah.
And we have that bond and connection, but there are a lot of moments that I give the world as well, so that they can see that it's possible for them as well.
Well, thank you for sharing your platform and your words, your wisdom, all of that good stuff. And because of you, my platform is birthing and growing. It wouldn't grow without our voices and our stories, and edible activism, as I say before, it's a movement for everyone, because everybody could be channeling this activism in the food space in some capacity, but this platform is specifically created for our stories and our voices, and preserving all that we do, capturing all that we do, and documenting all that we do, because it's really important.
Yes,
taking us back to the land in so many different ways.
Yes.
All right, guys, so thank you again, Trina. We're gonna wrap up. I know we're a little bit over time, but when the conversations are these good, it's just hard.
Can't
it's just
step
so
away.
hard. I want to sit here all day and chat. So, all right. So, I got a couple questions.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, what's your favorite leafy green?
Dandelion greens.
Oh, she got it. She quick. Okay, dandelion. All right. An edible activist you look up to?
My mama.
Oh, shout out to moms. Sweet, spicy, sour, or salty?
Bitter.
All right, I gotta add that. Got him. I gotta add that to the list. I love it. Bitter. Okay. Favorite fruit?
Jackfruit.
I think, did Lauren say that when we were talking to Lauren last week? She
good.
said mango. Jackfruit. Okay.
So good.
One way that someone can channel their inner edible activism in the Black and brown food space.
Grow your own food.
Yep.
Grow your own food and tell your neighbor that you're growing food.
Absolutely. I love it. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I am here live on Full Service Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m. And you can access each episode after it airs at fullserviceradio.org. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Trina.
Thank you, Mel.
Thanks for listening to this program on Full Service Radio, broadcasting and recording from the Line Hotel in Adams Morgan, Washington, D.C. Full Service Radio programming can be accessed live and archived on fullserviceradio.org. Our talk programming is available on most podcast apps like iTunes and Stitcher, and our DJ sets are available on mixcloud.com/fullserviceradio. Full Service Radio features over 30 weekly shows and over 50 local hosts covering every topic imaginable. If you want to be a guest or get involved, email us at info@fullserviceradio.org. Follow us on Twitter at FullServiceRDO, on Instagram and Facebook at Full Service Radio. Thanks for listening.